It's time now for business, beginning as ever by taking a look at how things closed up on the US markets on Thursday. Fresh fears over the coronavirus outbreak sending Wall Street into the red, both the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 closing down over 0.1%. The Dow Jones down 0.4%, as you can see there. Now, as for Asia, most indices trading in positive territory. The Hong Kong Hang Seng, the Shanghai Composite and the Kospi all trading up around 0.5%. The Nikkei trading in the red, however, down 0.6% at the moment. Now, while it's common wisdom that you can't put a price on love, you can put a price on finding it. The market for dating apps has grown exponentially over the past 8 years, bringing in millions for companies like Tinder, which was the highest earning non-game app last year. With love in the air this Valentine's Day, Alison Sargent takes a look at the growing industry.
When it comes to finding the right match, the first step is finding the right app. Since Tinder launched in 2012, the number of dating applications has exploded, a global market that's projected to reach more than 8.5 billion euros over the next 5 years.
It's a very, very concentrated market. In fact, Tinder is the same parent company as Mythique. It's the same parent company as Match. All of the big players are held by the same hand.
That hand belongs to Match Group, which owns 4 out of 5 of the most popular dating apps in the US. Top-ranked Tinder is also a top earner. Last year, it beat out Netflix as the #1 app for consumer spending worldwide. Tinder's dominance may be tested by the arrival of the new Facebook dating app, which launched in the US and parts of Asia last year. So far, Match Group says it hasn't felt the consequences, and founders of smaller apps say there's plenty of room for everyone.
It's a market that still has an absolutely incredible reserve of potential. Our job is to help those who are struggling to meet people.
According to Match Group, outside of the US and Europe, around 2/3 of singles have never used a dating app, meaning for companies seeking new clients, there are still plenty of fish in the sea.
The US Justice Department has announced new criminal charges against Chinese tech giant Huawei, alleging racketeering and a decades-long conspiracy to steal trade secrets from US companies. The indictment names Huawei and several of its subsidiaries. President Donald Trump's administration has effectively banned Huawei technology in the United States and has also encouraged allies not to allow the firm a role in the rollout of 5G mobile networks. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development says that governments around the world could net up to $100 billion by rewriting global corporate tax laws. The OECD is facilitating discussions on an international framework to tax tech giants like Google, Apple, Facebook and Amazon. France 24's Stephen Carroll has been speaking to economist Gabriel Zucman about the problem.
There is this big question of what can we do to better tax, these big giants that shift profits to offshore tax havens. But the main problem with the French approach was that it was too specific, that it was only targeted to one sector of the economy, the digital industries, and it ignored the fact that profit shifting to tax havens, tax avoidance by multinational companies is an across-the-board phenomenon. It's true also for the financial industry, the pharmaceutical industry. So then it paved the way for Donald Trump to say, oh, look, France is attacking the US because it turns out that the digital industry is dominated by US companies. And so that was the problem with the French approach.
And you can see the full interview, including some perspective on the idea of a wealth tax in this week's People and Profit. The show is online now at France24.com.